From CLTV, this is Sports Page Live at 9.
Hi everyone, I'm Luke Cadellis. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Night Roundtable. In a few minutes, we will run down the topics we'll hit on tonight's show. But first, let's introduce our panel. From WGN Radio, he's heard mornings with Spike O'Dell, Sports Director Dave Ennett. Good to see you, Dave.
Lou, always great to see you.
Thanks for coming on out.
You bet.
Sitting alongside Dave from WBBM News Radio 780, sports anchor Dave Kerner. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Nice to be back.
Good to see you.
You bet.
And as we always do, we give you, the fan, the chance to sit on the round table. All you need to do is call 630-368-4333. Jot that number down. Tell us in 30 seconds or less why you should sit on the round table. If we pick your message, then you could be sitting right next to Dave Kerner or Dave Ennett right here on set. Here's tonight's winner.
Hey Lou, my name is George Kikos. I'm a fellow Greek from the Park Ridge suburb of Chicago. I represent the northwest side of Chicago, and I think I'd be a great addition to your team in the fan seat next Sunday because I can carry a larger demographic, and best of all, you can replay this on Sunday night to the, I'm sure, pleasure of all my friends and anybody who knows me and anybody else.
All right, George Kikos from Chicago, our winner tonight. Good to see you, George.
Thanks. Was that about 30 seconds?
That was about, were we timing that, guys, back in the control room? It was 37 seconds to be exact, I'm told.
Yeah, that's about the same time I get to pitch a new song to a record company, so.
Are you a singer?
Well, I have a few friends that are in bands, but I'll plug them later on, so.
All right, we'll plug them later on. What, you're from Park Ridge?
Yeah, I am from Park Ridge, born and raised, and now I live downtown in South Loop, Printers Row. And I used to live east of Edens. That just happens to be a restaurant. But I was closer to Lake Shore and West Ridge for about 3 years there, too. So.
Okay. And you're a big Illinois fan?
Yeah, I was there for a year and a half. I didn't graduate from there, but after last night's victory, I think I had to wear the shirt. So.
I was going to say, you're wearing that with pride, are you not?
Well, not pride for any children. I don't have any kids. I'm not married, but this was a shirt that was trying to give my dad, but he's not as big a fan as I was, so I ended up with it. But yeah, I'm definitely an Illinois fan. So.
All right, good. We'll talk about the Illini coming up. I want to talk about the Bears, and after having a couple of weeks to think about the hole that they had put.
Yeah, we can't be fooled by this. Don't start thinking all of a sudden Rex Grossman's going to resurrect himself. However, he took advantage of an opportunity that really Brian Griese was not able to before he went down. And that's a couple of key guys in the Raiders secondary hurt. Therefore, you can exploit him somewhere with a deep ball. Finally, Grossman found that in the fourth quarter.
Did just that. Are you excited about this, George?
I'm excited. He's a streak player, so maybe he'll go on a streak, which is what we're going to need to make it to the playoffs. So. Let's see what happens with Griese.
Ride the hot hand.
Ride the hot hand.
Yeah. Give Grossman credit, because here's a guy who I think a lot of people felt had taken the last snap he ever would for the Bears, even though I know there was some talk that he might play today in any event, but still, his long-term future in Chicago didn't appear to be too bright, if existent at all, and for him to come in that situation, and he took kind of a pounding today at times as well, but he did make a play when they needed someone to do it, and I think he deserves credit for that.
But didn't you think, guys, that he looked lost out there on the football field? Before the pass, I was not impressed, and I don't want to hear about him not being out there with the starters the last 6 weeks, because...
How about the first play?
Yeah, the fumble snap on the first play.
Back to that again.
But you know what? All right, now... I was going to talk about Olin Kreutz a little later on. I'm bringing up Olin Kreutz right now. I am tired of giving this guy a free pass in this town. He's had a horrible season. I don't know if he's... You're nodding your head.
I agree with everything everybody says. Somebody had mentioned that even with, the Indianapolis or Pats offensive line, we still wouldn't be able to get it done. But, you got to put some of the blame on them, I think, this year, unfortunately.
On that offensive line?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have not done the job. Not like they did a year ago. How is it that the offense couldn't put together a drive all day long against a suspect? I know the Raiders' defense is pretty good, the pass defense, but against a suspect Raiders defense.
Right. I think one reason they didn't was because, they ran the ball.
Just a fan. Do you have confidence in Benson? Is Benson the right guy to carry the load for this team?
I mean, people have mentioned Garrett Wolf. I don't think it's out of place at this point after playing such a poor defense to, try him out.
They tossed it to Wolf once today,
Yeah.
I think, and
he lost
bobbled
yardage.
the snap,
Yeah.
right? Lost yardage.
Getting back to Garrett Wolf, or to Adrian Peterson for that matter,
Sure.
don't you think that if there's a reason that these guys aren't playing more, and Peterson's playing a little more, obviously, but there must be a reason. The coaches feel he's not ready. Somebody feels he's not ready to be out there. Otherwise,
He's been
given where
inactive
they
for
are.
some games this
Right,
season. Yeah.
we would see him. So there must be a reason we're not seeing Garrett Wolf.
Yeah. All right. George, you loose?
Yeah, really.
The game was a bore. Let's be honest. It was just pathetic. Yeah, the Bears win at Oakland for the first time since 1987. One of the big reasons why, the play of their defense. Now, considering it was the Raiders, just how excited should we be about the Bears' defensive performance today? George, Dave Ennett talked about Adewale Ogunleye, and Ogunleye was terrific today. He had 3 of the Bears' 4 sacks, and he also forced a fumble.
I think Tommy Harris would have wanted one of them. Did he play today?
Yeah.
Because I know he's playing against his buddy Warren Sapp. So
Yeah.
maybe he wished he would have had one. I don't know if he did or not.
What about Ogunleye? I mean, the guy's been I actually
I think that was his
Ogunleye
best game as a Bear
arguably
today.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Best
it really
game as a
was.
Bear. And he's had a pretty good season, hasn't he?
Hey, you know what?
Brian Urlacher didn't do much again. His back problems are
Couple of
obvious
hits.
out there. A couple of hits, but he has definitely not put up the tackle totals that we've seen him put up. Urlacher, who's 50% better out there than no Urlacher at all.
Well, that's the same problem you got with the fellow that plays on the offensive line that you mentioned earlier.
Reuben Brown.
You got guys that are playing at 50% that are your starters, and whether to leave them in there and let them play their positions or take them out, that's a tricky situation. It has to be evaluated. I don't have an honest opinion.
Would you rather
answer.
see Urlacher out there 50% than?
I think a lot of people work well under pain. I think if it's something you can manage, sometimes it completely disappears when when the clock starts. So if he can play through it, and if he's honest that it's not affecting him, then. But we have to evaluate his performance, and if it continues, then I wouldn't be the one to say let's bench Urlacher. That's a big statement. So.
I think
Bears beat
But
the Eagles
Bears
head-to-head, so
they beat the
They beat
Eagles.
them.
They beat the
Okay.
best team in
Okay.
the NFC.
I could
they
see
do
it.
have the Redskins. They've got the Redskins in
They got the
December, so
Redskins
they can
coming
take
up
care
out
of a
there.
Redskins
That's
tiebreaker.
They've got the
right.
Giants coming up.
Yep.
George?
Let's see how they do. I'm waiting for Grossman to streak this season.
So are you telling me that Grossman's the answer the rest of this season?
Well,
I mean, at what point do we, let's be honest here, at what point do we turn to Kyle Orton?